I was 22 years old when I married a man I had met twice. His name was Adam. 28 years old. Calm eyes. Quiet voice. A man my parents said was good. I did not disagree. I did not agree. I simply nodded. Because I did not know what else to do. Our wedding was everything a wedding is supposed to be. 400 guests. Lights. Music. Color. My mother crying from happiness. My father shaking Adam's hand. With a pride I had never seen. I sat through all of it. In a red dress that weighed more than I did. And smiled at every camera. And felt completely hollow inside. Not because I was unhappy. Because I was terrified. I did not know this man. I did not know his voice when he was tired. His face when something hurt him. Whether he was kind or cold. When the guests left. And the lights went off. And it was just us. When everyone finally left. I sat alone on the edge of the bed. In a room I had never slept in. Still in my dress. Still wearing every piece of jewelry. My hands were cold. My heart was colder. And I waited. Not knowing what was coming. Not knowing who was coming. Just waiting. He knocked before he came in. That was the first thing I noticed. He knocked on the door. Of his own bedroom. He came in quietly. He was not in his wedding clothes anymore. Just a simple white kurta. His expression was calm. No expectation. No rush. He saw me sitting on the edge of the bed. Still dressed, still jeweled, still frozen. And he walked to the chair. On the far side of the room. Not next to me. The chair on the other side. He said, Aisha. You don't have to say anything tonight. You don't have to do anything. I just want you to feel safe. I said nothing. My throat was too tight for words. He said, I know this is strange. It is strange for me too. We don't know each other yet. That is okay. We have time. Then he stood up. He said, I will sleep in the other room. Rest. Take your time. Tomorrow we can just talk. Nothing more. And he left. He simply left. I sat there for a long time. In the silence. And then something happened. I had not expected at all. I felt safe. For the first time since the wedding started. I felt my shoulders come down. My breathing slow. The cold in my hands go warm. I lay back on the bed. Still in my dress. And I stared at the ceiling. And I thought. Who is this man? The next morning I woke up. To the smell of chai. Proper chai. Cardamom and ginger. The way my mother made it. I came out slowly. And found Adam in the kitchen. He turned around and said. Good morning. Did you sleep? I said, a little. We sat at the kitchen table. Toast. Eggs. 2 cups of chai. Neither of us spoke for a while. Then he said. Tell me something about yourself. Something your family wouldn't have mentioned. I looked up. He smiled. I already know the formal things. I want to know the real things. I thought for a moment. Then I said. I write poetry. In Urdu. I have never shown it to anyone. He was quiet. Then he said. I would like to read it someday. Only if you ever want to share it. Something small opened in my chest. That morning at that kitchen table. The first real thing. In what I had believed. Would only ever be an arrangement. 1 week later. We were sitting in the garden after dinner. The sky was dark blue. He said, Are you happy here? Not the arrangement. Just here. With me. Nobody had asked me that. Not once. Tears came before I could stop them. I said, I did not expect you. He said, what did you expect? I said, obligation. I did not expect someone who knocks. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he said quietly, you are not an obligation, Aisha. You are a person. And I want to spend my life learning who that person is. I reached across and took his hand. The first time I had touched him by choice. His hand was warm. He held mine gently. And we sat there. Until the rain came. People ask me if I regret it. An arranged marriage at 22. To a man I barely knew. I say, I regret nothing. Because the man I barely knew turned out to be the man who knocked before entering. Who waited without being asked. Who wanted to know the real things. True love does not always arrive the way you imagined. Sometimes it knocks quietly. On a door it did not have to knock on. And that changes everything. Subscribe. Because there are more stories. Where this came from.